Hello everyone. In today's session, we will see, mostly as the interview question, what is automation testing framework, or how to explain Selenium Automation Framework, or explain automation testing framework architect. Okay. To answer this question, first we need to understand what is a framework and how we can implement the same framework in our Selenium automation. So framework is nothing but a set of rules and regulations or the best practices that which we can implement within our organization. For example, coding standard, test data, object repository, log, etc. Okay. So now if you see, we have a different framework we can implement, okay, like data-driven framework, keyword-driven, or hybrid framework. Okay, so we can develop any kind of framework. Okay, but as part of this session, we are going to develop a hybrid framework. And if you see, like different components needed in any framework, whether we can develop hybrid framework or BDD framework or the keyword-driven framework. Okay, so all these components are needed. Okay, like WebDriver. So now if you see, we require a WebDriver. So like latest versions Selenium 4.25. Okay, again we require a Maven. Maven basically we are using for the dependency purposes. Okay, then we are using the properties file as well. Okay, to store the like key value. Okay, like for example, we need to execute the framework in different environment, like dev environment, QA environment, UAT environment, production environment. Okay, so all these details will store in property.file. Okay, along with the username and properties. Okay, then test data. So when we are executing the test cases, okay, we need to store that test data. Okay, valid data, invalid data. Okay, so as part of our framework, okay, we are using XLS file, and for that one we are going to use the Apache POI, okay, 3.10 version. Then we also require a test base class, okay, where we are storing the base utilities, okay, like invoking the browser. Then we can see that closing the browser and all these details. Then test utility. Okay, so we required some common methods. Okay, so we are storing under the test utility, and definitely we required for that one Java 1.8. Okay, so apart from that one, we also required the screenshot. We are taking the screenshot when we are executing the scripts. Okay, some scripts are failing. That time we are taking the screenshot. Okay, so using text screenshot interface, we are taking the screenshot and we are storing common folder. Okay, then we are also using the logger 4j class. Okay, and here we can use the debug or info log. Okay, then we are having the suites. Okay, we have different suites, like we need to execute the test cases on smoke, like smoke suite. We have a regression suite, we have a sanity suites, we have okay, so when we deploy the deployments happening in production environment or UAT environment, so quickly we are going to execute the smoke suites. Okay, for that one we require smoke suite. And next components, we require the test engine. Okay, here if you see, we are using test engine 7.10.x. okay, this is the latest version, okay, to execute all the scripts. And for reporting purpose, once all the execution done, it may be like smoke execution or the sanity execution or the regression execution. Okay, so we can use the emailable reports. Okay, and we'll share along within our team. And to store the all the entire code, we are using a GitHub. Okay, and next components, the Jenkins. Okay, so we can use the Jenkins 2.4.4 war file. Okay, so basically when we deploy the code nightly build, okay, so we can kick off the automatic build, okay, using the Jenkins. Okay, so these are all the components. Okay, so you can develop any kind of framework, but all these components which we required. Okay, and coming to next, like here we can see this is the framework architect. Okay, so now we can develop any kind of framework. Okay, all these components are required. Okay, now here you can see on left hand side, here it's application under test. It's any web application. Okay, and on the right hand side it's a Jenkins. Okay, once deployment is done, okay, we'll kick off the code or our smoke execution. Okay, and if you see, entire code base, we are keeping the version control things, we are keeping under the Git. Okay, and the other thing is this is the Java IDE. Okay, so now if you see here, okay, so here like for test data we are using the XLS file and using Apache POI. Okay, we are keeping under the common libraries, and here we have utility files. Okay, like we require some common libraries, then we are storing under the utility files. And here you can see we have automated scripts. Okay, and all these automated scripts we are keeping under different test suites. Okay, and here we can see we are using the design pattern form model. Okay, and here we have different suites, like we have a smoke suites, we have sanity suites, we have regression suites. Okay, and again in smoke suites we have different test cases. Okay, then again we'll segregate under like different module wise, module 1, module 2, module 3, which are the part of the test suites. Okay, and here we are also keeping the configuration files. Okay, so here configuration files we are using the properties file. Okay, we used to store the environment details or the username and password details. Okay, and once through using the test ng, once our execution start, okay, we are using the logger 4j to store the logs details. Okay, so this is the basically for the development purpose. Okay, if in case any scripts is failing, okay, using the debug log we can see all these details. Along with the debug log we can also keep the info log. Okay, and next is the screenshot. Okay, so if in case any test case executions uh, fails while executing the scripts, okay, so we are taking the screenshot. Okay, and here you can see using the web driver we are kicking off the AUT, application under test, and after that we are storing the test result. Okay, so this is the overall automation testing framework architect. Okay, and yeah, we'll see all these details, all the components more granular in upcoming session. Okay, so if in case you have any questions, query, please let me know. Thank you.